Genshin VA got destroyed live on the stream. All right, I want to see this.
Welcome back, guys. Hope you've been having a great weekend and a wonderful Easter. Got something to show you in this video
Easter.
that I think
I listened to the sermon, and it was all about Jesus. It's good.
you'll find very interesting. So yesterday, I made another video talking about some Genshin VA stuff, and I got a number of
really
comments
interesting.
from people telling me about a situation with the game Nikke, and how Kaylee Mills is voicing a character on that game. I think her name is called Rapi, and they had a live stream yesterday, or the day before yesterday. It was specifically on April 19th.
Big
So
ups.
what is today? 1 second. Yeah, yesterday. And so in this hour-and-a-half live stream for Nikke, the 2.5 anniversary live stream, there was a moment where Kaylee Mills' character came on screen, and Kaylee Mills was voicing the character, and they had like information about the VA and putting that it was Kaylee Mills. And the live chat began to be filled up with people saying stuff like, recast this VA, LVA.
Oh
toxic
man!
VA.
Oh, this is the one. This is the
Kaylee
one
Mills-
that had like the big thing on Twitter. Yeah.
Got called out on a live stream. It was crazy. I was trying to find that specific part of the live stream, but you know, it's like an hour and a half long. So I was like going through it, trying to find it. And then I actually had someone on Twitter tag me with some screenshots from that part. So I was able to find that part and take some screenshots too. So we'll take a look at the ones that I got and the ones that was sent. That takes us to Sierra saying, Hero Hei, if you want some more further evidence of backlash about Kaylee Mills during the Nikke 2.5 live stream,
Man.
where Kaylee got on camera, there was a fair amount of the chat room asking for her to be recast out of Rapi's role. And the fact that the people in the chat are actively blaming Genshin, when in reality, the only thing that ties to it being Genshin related is the recast of Kenichi, while Kaylee Mills actively bullied someone and then found out their information through some means is crazy. So the context to that is there was a few people just saying like, oh, like toxic Genshin fans or something, basically, in response to the people who were like calling out Kaylee. The main thing I just want Kaylee to do is just apologize to Jacob publicly. What do you guys think the odds of her doing that would be? There was no need for her comments regardless of her personal feelings. Yeah, I do agree with that. And that goes for like any of the VAs who've like harassed Jacob, even if they
If you don't know, I'll give you a real quick recap of what was happening. Essentially, like the Cliff Notes version is that basically there's a strike, and then this voice actor from Japan basically they recasted the role because of the strike, because like they needed to get stuff done for that character. They couldn't do it, so they just recasted the character because the strike made it so that they couldn't do it. The guy who lives in Japan, basically got recast into that role, and then a bunch of people from the union started harassing that dude basically and saying like it's okay to harass him because he's a scab and stuff like that. And there was like this whole controversy around it. And but the problem is the public sentiment didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. They thought that, oh, like, yeah, the public's going to be totally like on our side because like, you know, we're the union and whatever, but it was actually the opposite. People got mad at all of the other voice actors for bullying the guy who got recast into the role.
what he did, the public witch hunt that they put forward against him just makes them all look so bad. Jacob has the position of Kenichi, and realistically, the strike is in shambles right now. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's more than better to just apologize now. The thing is, it seems like it would be like a fake apology at this point, right? Like, if
at this point, it's kind of rough, because then if you apologize, everyone's going to say, oh, you're just apologizing because of the backlash. You don't really care. It's going to be rough, honestly. Like, they kind of dug themselves into like a really bad position.
Actually started apologizing. I don't know about y'all, you know, you form your own opinion on it, but personally, I don't think
AI protections, the Trojan horse says farms wrong. Yeah, so the thing is they've been using this is like for AI protections as the whole reason that this is happening, but it's actually not, because the AI protections were like are not really like a part of the discussion. The discussion is that the MiHoYo stuff is non-union. Right, because they hire voice actors from all around the world. The Screen Actors Guild is an American guild, right? So it's like it's an American like acting union, and they're trying to convert the MiHoYo stuff into being union so that other people can't be voice actors for MiHoYo stuff. Trying to say you only have to hire union people, and that's where the pushback is. But the way that they're phrasing it, they're trying to like make it seem like it's an AI issue. It's like a voice rights, like voice actors rights, like AI issue.
I would believe a single one of them. I think it would just come off, to me at least, like more damage control. It's more than better to just apologize now and admit she messed up than to just ignore the bubbling hatred right now that's going to keep brewing. Okay, so check this out. Here's from the live stream. They show Rapi coming on screen. They show Kaylee Mills, And then it's Kaylee Mills talking as Rapi, as this character. And here's the screenshot provided in that tweet right there. Let's take a look. L, bully VA lol. Replace.
Oh my God, dude.
Boo, boo, boo. Switch VA, skip. It's her. It's just it's her. Bully VA.
That's unfortunate.
And L. And then here is the one that I got. Let's take a look at this. L, fire the VA. Skip, boo. WVA, we got one like in the VA. Fire, recast. What happened? Recast.
Dude, this is so true for me.
Heck yeah. Cute voice. So 2 more supportive ones. But then we got recast. Isn't Rapi's VA a bully? Recast her. Recast. English ruins VA and the original text.
Because a bunch of them were basically bullying.
Still, guys.
So
Heart.
yeah, that's why people got mad.
Fire. Recast, please. Recast. Tomatoes. Is that like throwing
Dude,
tomatoes?
it just says everyone from factory works to traders are being replaced by AI, but VAs are special. Yeah. People have been replaced by technology since like forever. That's like always been a thing, right?
Or something. Recast Rapi, wild L, recast L, recast.
Well, there were some of the same, like there's some similar sentiments when photography was invented. When photography came out, a lot of people got really mad at it. Yeah.
And Rapi is ruined. And then we'll take a look at a few more. At the top is the last one we just read. Rapi is ruined. Oh yeah, here's an example of someone blaming Genshin people, as you can see. But out of everything we just read, like I can only see one example of that. Recast. Wait, what did Rapi ENVA do?
Methylene says it'd be different that English VAs were actually good. Do whether or not says Methylene. I mean, that's kind of subjective, right? Like some people will think that they're really good. Some people will hate them. It's subjective. I think the real issue here is that once you start bullying other people, there's kind of it kind of lowers the sympathy that like other people will have for any cause that you could have. And also it's like voice acting is considered again like a premium job. So it's like it's harder to get people to care like after you get past the whole fandom thing.
People are so mad right now. L, Kira Buckland, Rapi, please. Recast. Y'all mean, chill. This chat is not.
I haven't really watched anime dubs since old shit. Like I watched like Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Yoroiden Samurai Troopers. Like I that's it. Like I don't really watch or listen to dubs anymore if I can avoid it.
Chill. More tomatoes. Toxic fans. Questions. Some people clearly out of the loop on this. She's unprofessional. Recast her. Recast Rapi. Recast. Fire Kaylee. LVA. What did she do? Recast. Thank Miss Sillies. I like Mikasa. Corina friend. And recast Rapi. Okay, let me know what you guys think about that. And I've got one more thing to show you here that I think you'll find very funny. Going over to Blue Sky. Do you remember Little Karibo? So bro's kind of mad. Check this out. Yesterday he posted this rant saying, if you see all the usual grifters and anger harvesting content creators getting behind the actors have no right or reason to strike Hoyo titles, the union is a scam, etc. argument, I'd ask those of you who are rational to consider how steeped in ignorance that take must be to catch fire that quick. I'm talking to actors as well, because I know there's likely new or hopeful actors that are watching this play out, unsure what to believe. Ask yourself if you trust the people striking for months, or the people doing everything in their power to undermine that in the span of a few weeks. What does them striking for months have to do with anything? That doesn't by default give them additional merit. So they're striking for months.
I find it's weird. A lot of people make these kind of arguments all the time where they make some argument that's supposed to be like, this makes my case better, but it literally has nothing to do with it. It's always like some kind of like argument from seniority or authority all the time. Like it never has any real logic behind it.
And people have been calling them out for weeks. So what? It doesn't even have any relevancy. And for the record, I've been criticizing their strike for over a month, and I know a lot of people in the Genshin fandom and HoYoverse fandom in general have also been criticizing their strike for over a month. So once again, I don't think his argument has any merit, but even his own logic doesn't even really support.
Again, guys, the issue here is that, allegedly the strike is not even about like wages or anything like that. It's about forcing the company to only hire people from the union. That means, okay, so here's the ramifications of that. If MiHoYo does agree to them, only Americans can get hired after that point. Do you see where people are like, that's kind of fucked up? Because if they do that, then that means that they can't hire anyone from outside of the Screen Actors Guild, which is Americans. So like if you're like a UK voice actor or UK, Canada, I don't know who's like in the guild specifically, which nations, like Australia, like if you live in Japan but like you speak English, you're just fucked basically. Like you can never get a job like on those projects.
His argument. And then, of course, Little Kribo is also misrepresenting some of the main issues that people actually...
TLDR, every major AI lab is going after voice synthesis at the moment, or rather multimodal models, which target voice input and output as a first-class medium, simplified, but yeah. And yeah, a lot of it is people don't want to deal with this kind of shit. I mean, think about what happened in like the last year of actors / talents like completely fucking everything over for like people that are like unrelated to like a project, right? Like take Snow White, for instance, right? It's not just Rachel Ziegler who worked on Snow White. But her like fucking popping off her mouth when she was supposed to be promoting the game and just talking mad shit basically made everyone hate the film, right? And there was like that whole thing where the son of like I think it was the son of the director or something like made a point in saying like she fucked everything over and like all these other people were working on it. They had nothing to do with her, and yet her being a bitch basically fucked everything up, right? And so these companies are like, man, we're sick and tired of this shit. Like, dude, I'd rather just hire a robot and not have to worry about it because a robot isn't going to pop off, you know? Producer son.
For example,
okay, sorry,
he doesn't make any mention of one of the biggest issues, if not
the artistic folks said learn to code to coal miners and now they want sympathy. How about nah, bruh? That is the thing I find very interesting. I find that interesting because yes, that did happen when all the coal miners were like, we don't have a job anymore. Like, you know, like with the technology advancing, like nobody wants like coal anymore. Like, we don't have jobs anymore. And like literally everybody said, learn to code, like learn to code. Right. And now that it's happening, how the turntables have turned, right, guys? The turntables are turning and now they're being faced with the same thing, but for them. So a lot of people have no sympathy basically at this point.
The biggest
put the fries in the bag, yeah.
People have, which is that these union VAs are basically trying to turn the entire job into a union project, which would then have a high probability of negatively impacting the non-union talent, and that these VAs have been trying to use the AI argument as a sort of Trojan horse in an attempt to manipulate the public into supporting their strike or collective work refusal, while they also don't disclose all of the reasons that they're holding that collective work refusal. To put it simply, they were attempting to play the fandom and the internet like a bunch of fools. And then when that doesn't work, they constantly try and misrepresent the issues that we all have, call us toxic, etc., etc. I thought this post from Little Kribo was also funny. This is from today, and it looks like the person he's responding to ended up deleting their post, but here's what Little Kribo says. Please, no matter which side of the issue you're on, stop referring to actors striking as drama. Filtering this whole situation through that lens is why you have people misunderstanding and misinforming. It's always so ironic when they talk about misinformation, and specifically why you have YouTubers frothing at the mouth for content.
So what? Hold on.
Not drama.
Hold on. So it's like a bunch of them getting together and talking mad shit about this dude and like dogpiling on him, and then making public statements like basically on main dogpiling this guy is not drama. Okay. So it's not drama when you do it. Oh, okay.
The more you approach this thinking of it as some sort of internal debate, the less you understand the actual context and stakes. Yeah, guys, don't you dare have nuance. Don't you dare question anything.
This is the thing. Is like, okay, if that's the issue, then let's talk about the issue. And they don't want to talk about it. Like, people don't want to talk about it. What is this thing about how the whole project has to be the whole project? You know what I mean? Like, can we get like these people and just actually sit them down? Like, let's have a sit down and let's freaking talk about it. Like, what is the actual issue here? Is this true or not, right? Is it true that, like, you guys want it to be union, and then what's going to happen to all the voice actors that aren't in the union? Oh, well, they can join. Well, what if they're from a different country?
Supposed to blindly support the VAs. Bro, get out of here. You believe that if actors aren't sharing everything about the strike, that they're hiding things. Okay, so let's address this point that Little Kribo really doesn't seem to understand. If this was all a private matter, if they were handling this all privately, this was all a private negotiation.
So why are you talking about it on May?
They don't need to tell us anything.
Yep.
But that's not what's going on. They've made this a very public matter. They've been demanding that the public support them. They've been acting like they're entitled to the public supporting them and that we're obligated to support them. but then they only tell us like one specific thing. Oh, we just want AI protections, guys. Don't you feel bad for us? Don't you see how that's such a good thing? Like, you understand that. And to be fair, yeah, a lot of us understand the concern about the whole AI thing.
Yep.
But it turned out there was a lot more to all of this than just the AI stuff. As I mentioned earlier, it turned out that was basically just a Trojan horse for the full list of their real demands. And
Yep,
it shouldn't be
there it
surprising
is.
to little Kribo or any of these other people that, wow, the public doesn't like being manipulated by a bunch of entitled individuals. Amplifying that even more when they go out and harass people like Jacob Takanashi. You know, there's a whole bunch of issues with all of this stuff, but I'm not going to rehash everything. Chances are you've been following this news and you're familiar with all that. It's been a lot, right?
Freaking big Hero Hei ult.
But you get the point.
We get the Hulk too?
Let's see what else little Kribo has to say.
Oh my god,
You
the
believe
4K.
that actors are angry at
4K
someone.
legend.
It must be bullying. Oh my gosh, dude, why do these people
Big
gaslight so
damage.
much? That is like their like main tactic. Oh, let's gaslight people. We're not actually bullying anyone. We're just angry. Or the post we read the other day. They're like, oh, no one's getting harassed. People are just venting. That's all. It is not a debate. It is not drama. It is workers and artists seeing a genuine threat to the stability of their industry. It is not drama, the same way that people marching in the streets for their rights is not drama. I'd beg you to examine why you view it that way, should you still want to. And finally, we'll take a look at this post from Little Kribo from April 18th, 2 days ago. It says, Hoyo writes quote-unquote scheduling issues so that situations like fans denying the strike exists can happen because they're actively undermining it with that language. Multiple actors who were striking have been recast, and the fandom has insisted they weren't striking because Hoyo wants that confusion. I mean, is it a collective work refusal? Is it a strike? Like, I don't even think Hoyo wants the confusion. I think you guys are just very inconsistent. And I think Hoyo has been more than generous to all these people. Hoyo could have long replaced these people, but they haven't. They've actually been pretty nice, all considered. And simply calling it a scheduling issue is also kind of generous. They could have just put like, oh, that they're refusing the work or something, but no, they're like scheduling issues. You know, that's all that is. It's weird how he thinks this like makes HoYoverse look bad, but if anything,
The
it
thing
makes
that's
them
so
look bad,
fucked
makes
up,
HoYoverse look
guys,
like better.
the thing that's so fucked up about this is that some of the people that are in the union are still working. Like, isn't it one of the people that's like in this whole drama that was talking like mad shit? They're still working even though they're on strike. Because they said that I need money though. And it's like, it's actually, man, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
And like the crazy thing is,
You can do both. So you get mad at people for not adhering to the strike, but then you're not adhering to the strike. It's kind of weird.
a lot of people have said, and I agree too, it's crazy that we're actually like defending the corporation in this situation, but that's just how unlikable these VAs have been. Like, you're literally getting people to side with the corpos, which is a very difficult thing to do. People generally won't do that, but somehow these people have, these VAs have managed to make that happen.
You can work and demand better. No one said you couldn't work and demand better. What are you talking about? You guys ever been to a place that says they have fried chicken, but it's baked? Have you guys ever had that? It's kind of what this reminds me of. It's like, it's baked fried chicken. Oh, so it's not fried then? No, it is fried chicken, but it's baked. I'm like, but then it's not fried chicken.
So great job, guys. If you ask Hoyo fans, it's because there is no strike, which is absurd. There is a strike. Performers who feel one of the biggest video games in the world should have AI protections are fighting. There we go again with the gaslighting. I know this is like a day before the last post we read, but the point is they've been doing this. They've been doing this for so long now. Come on. It has never been scheduling issues. It has always been workers fighting for what's right. I've spoken directly to actors who are striking that have been recast, who are too scared to talk about it. I do not blame them based on how everything played out, but a situation where actors are that...
Well, like if you fry the chicken first and then you bake it later, that's like reheating leftovers, you know?
Scared? Is that where we're at? Surely you can understand why they'd withhold the work. Hey, Little Kribo, if you care about actors being scared to post
And,
things
I'm not
publicly-
talking about when you fry chicken and then you put it in the oven to finish it. That's still fried chicken. But what I'm talking about is if you only bake it, it's not fried chicken.
What do you feel about Jacob Takanashi making a public post and then getting harassed by a bunch of people all in the same union? It's like a ton of people all ganging up on one dude. Oh, that's right. You were also insulting Jacob Takanashi, weren't you? And I would also ask you, if part of the enjoyment of these games is that you like the actors' intrinsic performances, don't you want them to not be terrified of their voice being...
Don't you want them to not be terrified of their voice print being used against their will, of a complete company calculatedly undermining their fight? Why wouldn't you support them? Doesn't MiHoYo already have protections in that way? They already said that they wouldn't do that.
If their voice print being used against their will of a company calculately undermining their fight, this is all something I've addressed before. I'm not going to say.
Yeah. So it's not even really about that.
Anything else about that? Why wouldn't you support them? If you're so concerned with actors being recast, a thing that is literally happening with a manipulated narrative in tow right now, the most likely way to keep all the actors is to support the strike. Just support the strike, guys. Don't question anything. They're being recast now because HoYo refuses to acknowledge or agree to their terms. Okay, cool story, bro.
The union wants a monopoly in voice acting in China. Yeah, I mean, again, that's the issue. They want a forced monopoly, right? Also, AI protection laws are fucking stupid and are very low, which leads to nothing but selecting a few owning all of the voice prints and other people getting fucked. That's kind of a complicated thing. I'd have to think about it more. There's a lot of things involved there because, like, how far, like what percentage of that? Okay, so it's so using someone's voice to make a voice copy. Or a person's picture to make like a photo like copy to like make a different person. How much percent of their likeness does it have to be away from the actual person before for it to be okay? So if you took a person's voice and then you took a person's like videos and then you literally cloned it, it could be bad for the brand of that person because they might mistake it as the person's actual content, right? You'd have to consider like how far do you have to be away from that if we care about that at all in the first place, right? Samples, you can just sample people's voices, all fucking science. No one owns their voice, and people who think they do are egotistical. Yeah, I'd have to think about it.